Joker's coming around hot and fast. A new Joker origin. But we've had so many already.
Oh my God, right? Which origins is this Joker going to draw from? Probably mostly the Killing Joke.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Seems the Killing Joke, but all right.
But definitely other things, no doubt.
Yes.
So we thought, hey, great opportunity, A, for people to give this video a like. I mean, I know it's early days. We haven't done that much yet, but put a little faith in us if you could. Just like a new Joker origin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like it without having seen it first.
Yes. And B, of course, we're going to go through a bunch of Joker origins for different versions and try and nail down, nothing. We're just going to name some stuff.
Just going to name some stuff. We're going to talk about some stuff. And maybe we should rate each one on how likely any of it is going to be brought into Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Oh, wow. Well, my first one will definitely get 0 play.
Okay.
And that is the time that Martha Wayne turned into the Joker.
Oh, the Flashpoint universe.
Yeah, that's right. So in the Flashpoint universe, this is a universe where in the alley, instead of the mugger killing Bruce Wayne's parents,
The one alley, the
crime alley, he kills Bruce Wayne. So Thomas Wayne becomes Batman and Martha Wayne becomes the Joker.
Oh, Thomas Wayne becomes regular Batman?
That's
just
right.
normal regular Batman.
No, he's shooting people
He's shooting
and
all
stuff.
kinds of people, isn't
yeah.
he?
And she's a version of the Joker. The smile initially comes from, on the animated version, Bruce Wayne's blood that she puts over her mouth.
Oh,
and
no.
becomes that
That's a bit
particular
much.
smile. I quite like that version of the Joker. It's a different take, and in reading that comic, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting twist.
Yes.
There's been a time when Alfred turned into the Joker in one out-of-continuity comic.
Oh, yes, that's
I like
fun.
a weird twist on the Joker to motivate Batman into being the best version of himself. He recreates his
see.
rogues gallery and then becomes the Joker himself or whatever.
Also, I'm going to give this 0 joy buzzers out of 5. What about when the DC comic book universe was rebooted for the New 52?
Yes.
The Joker got a bunch of new origins.
Yep.
Some to all of which may have been made up by him. One of them is that he was raised by his mean-spirited Aunt Eunice.
Yes.
And she visited cruel, cartoonish, definitely not real punishments upon him.
Big cartoon mallets.
Exactly, that's right.
Painting a tunnel on a wall and making him run into it.
But I don't want to run into it. I'm just gonna hit the wall. But one thing is that to punish him one day, she took a scrubbing brush and bleach.
Yes.
And scrubbed all over his body, and that's why all his skin is bone white.
And also why his hair is green.
I guess so, yeah. How much of that do you think is going to be made into the Joaquin Phoenix?
0, because you see him painting his makeup.
His
on
own
at some
face,
point.
that's right, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what if Aunt Eunice scrubbed him as a child, and then he got very, very expensive reconstructive surgery to make himself look normal again, but that's why he's broke.
Yeah, okay.
And so now that he's both broken emotionally and mentally and also financially, he's like, well, I've got to get back to my wonderful childhood days.
Then 4 buzzers out of 5 then, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
4 buzzers out of
You've
5,
turned me around
absolutely.
on that,
Nailed
yeah.
it. That's right.
There's a comic called Lovers and Madmen, and that version of the Joker is a criminal and a psychopath, as he always is.
I was going to cut you off there and be like, we normally is though.
There's a lot of things that we've seen in other versions. He's got the split smile. That's from a Batarang in this.
Yep.
And he's doing a bank robbery, and he's just kind of bored of who he is. And
Yawn, I'm just doing this bank robbery, but I'm
sick
so
of it.
bored of it.
like he's contemplating suicide.
Might as well jump into this big vat of chemicals.
That's right. But Batman comes into his life, and that's what turns this criminal around
Oh, he's
to become the
intrigued.
Joker.
Okay,
yeah.
right. He's like, well, this is a worthy foil for me.
Yeah.
These bank robberies are too easy for me.
That's
I think
right.
but Batman. Now I'm going to give this.
1, because there's no Batman.
Well, there's
really.
no Batman, but perhaps this man's like, well, I'm bored with my life being hit by placards that I'm holding in my job as some sort of promotional clown on the streets.
Yes.
And I want to turn to a life of crime. But just thinking about that is so boring. I'm not even going to bother. But then he's like, but what if I were to do that? And then rising to combat the menace of me would be some sort of costumed vigilante.
Oh my God.
4 joy buzzers out of 5.
So he's doing it like a just in case scenario.
Just in case scenario, he's
I
turning into
love
the
it.
Joker, just in case there's a Batman.
What else we got?
What about, again, the New 52?
Yeah.
Is another potential origin for the Joker.
I'm ready.
Just throwing them out there. This one is that the Joker is one of the oldest beings alive on Earth. He's been
an
around for
immortal,
thousands of years.
Kind of like an it monster.
Yeah, like a Ra's al Ghul or Vandal Savage, but even older. He started out as just like this being that people called the Pale Man.
Right.
And
Because he's in photos from the past as well, isn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that he, before Ra's al Ghul discovered the magic of the Lazarus pits that keeps him young, the Joker's been doing that way longer. This guy's a bloody amateur, Ra's al Ghul. Compared to the Joker.
He's just taking a dip, but the Joker is bloody
The Joker lives in it,
Yeah.
mate. Yes, exactly.
We have to mention the Red Hood. It's a very popular one. I wasn't going to put it in, but it's like if you don't mention it, people will yell at you for not mentioning it. It's actually something that dates back to the early Joker comics, but it was then reintegrated into Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, where he's a Red Hood, he's a failed comedian, then he's made to do some gangster stuff, and he gets knocked into a vat of chemicals and so on and so forth. The new movie looks to be taking some of that up to the point where he's knocked into the chemicals.
So, but in the comic books, what essentially happens is some mobsters are like, we're going to bring you along to do these crimes, and we're going to put you in this Red Hood costume.
Yes.
The idea being that if they all get caught, they'll say he was the ringleader because he's the costume guy. He's the supervillain. We're just regular villains. And when Batman gets us, we're going to throw him under the bus kind of thing. And then Batman does find him. He falls into a vat of chemicals.
Classic.
Now, a lot of that is Red Hood stuff aside, the failed comedian stuff. That's looks like very much this movie.
100%.
So 4 joy buzzes out of 5.
Yeah. Let's do some movie stuff just quickly.
Okay.
Jack Napier. Batman.
1989. So in this one, we definitely know this guy's name.
Yep.
We know what he's all about. He's a gangster. He's working for Boss Grissom.
Yep.
He's one of the main crime guys in Gotham City. And he attempts to knock over Axe's chemicals, and then Batman intervenes and knocks him into a vat of chemicals.
But not before deflecting a bullet right through his face.
Into his face. And so he comes back, and he has to get his face fixed by a back alley surgeon.
Yep.
And he becomes the Joker we all know and definitely love. In a flashback sequence, we see that he was the street hoodlum who shot Thomas and Martha Wayne. So he is responsible for the creation of the Batman, as the Batman is responsible for the creation of him.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Yeah. 0 out of 5, obviously, because the character in the movie's name is Arthur Fleck, and this guy's name is Jack Napier.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And Jack Napier is a criminal, but both probably know a guy named Bob. So 4 joy buzzes out of 5.
Perfect, I love it. Batman the Animated Series, Mason. We get a bit of the origin story of the Joker when he tells Harley Quinn that how he was abused as a child. She was his psychologist, and he was like, my dad never loved me, and I'll try to make him laugh by doing like circus acts and things like that.
Because the only time they had a good time is when they went to the circus, and then he says, I think... He's like, well, I'm going to make my dad happy.
Yeah.
And so I'll put on my dad's pants.
Do you like him?
I'll be a big old clown. And he does a little dance and he rips his dad's pants.
Yep.
And of course his dad gets real mad and beats him up.
Exactly.
But then I think...
It's a false story.
It is a false story.
Yeah.
That's right.
As Batman informs Harley Quinn. But there is a flashback in Mask of the Phantasm where we see a younger Joker and he's a gangster.
Yes.
And that's kind of the only thing that we kind of definitively know about
I
that
think
version.
he's also like a chauffeur for a major mob boss.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, he killed the Phantasm's father, which is why she's the way she is.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful and poetic.
It's so poetic and poignant.
So 4 out of 5, obviously.
4 out of 5 because it's poignant, because this movie's going to be poignant.
Let's get back to the movies just quickly. Okay. What's Cesar Romero? Who knows? Just an insane man who paints over his mustache. Good on ya. 4 out of 5
4
for
out of 5
one,
for
obviously.
effort. Some people wouldn't even paint over their mustache.
They definitely wouldn't.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, of course, Heath Ledger's story. He tells 3 different versions.
Yep.
Abusive father, wife who gets her face cut, so he cuts his own face. He goes to tell another one, but then he gets shot with wrist gauntlet blades in the face. But of course, there is the popular theory, that he is in fact ex-military, specifically in interrogation. Because he knows he knows how to get under somebody's skin, and he's tactical. So if he's not in that, he's definitely maybe a special forces kind of guy where he's just kind of skilled across the board.
Yeah.
He can fire a rocket launcher. He can...
Not fire a rocket launcher if the situation requires.
He can train a dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, look, he's skilled across the board. Joaquin Phoenix is skilled at spinning a board. So 4 joy buzzes out of 5.
Now, this is one that I think could possibly come up in the new movie. Bearing in mind, I haven't seen this, and I hope this is not a spoiler. There's a theory that the Joker is Bruce Wayne's brother.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a brother.
Well, because there's a story that Bruce Wayne had an older brother who was lost. That comes up in the comics every now and then.
Like in the woods?
No, like he died very young or whatever. He was a firstborn infant.
Oh, okay, sure, right.
Yeah, so there's this fan theory that the firstborn of Thomas Wayne is actually the Joker.
I see.
I feel like for the comics, it's a bit too kind of... Your enemy was closer to you than you ever would have known the whole time. And I don't like it, but I can also see it like in a different version that's not in continuity, working that in. 4 out of 5.
Absolutely, yes. That you don't even need to justify it. 4 joy buzzes out of 5, yeah.
Any more? I mean, there's a lot of like... He's a criminal.
4 out of 5.
He's a former criminal.
4 out of 5.
He's a mobster criminal.
5 out of 5.
Wow, yeah. They're coming in hot and fast. But I'd be curious to know what people consider either a definitive or a favorite version of the Joker origin.
And look, you can put anything you want in the comments, but we would much prefer if it's at least a 4 out of 5 theory.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know? Otherwise, don't waste our time. You know?
We're not interested in anything less than that. Or even more than that.
No, 5 out of 5. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. If people could actually go down in the comments and then rank people's theories.
Yeah, out of 5.
Yeah, and just make sure they're 4 out of 5, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, yeah.
or report them
Thank you.
to the police.
Oh my God.
Anyways, look, we do videos here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We've got a bunch of stuff. But of course, we also have a podcast called The Weekly Planet where we talk movies and comics and TV shows that comes out every Monday morning. We've got an episode on the upcoming Joker film. That'll be non-spoilers, then full spoilers, of course. So, look, if you're on the bloody Monday morning commute or you're at home or you're coming home from work or you whatever you're doing.
Maybe you don't have a job and you just like to bloody download podcasts all day. I love it.
Dream.
Oh my God.
That's exactly it. So that's linked below if you do want to check it out. But thanks for watching this video.
Grab that gem, you guys. We will see you next week.
And goodbye.